Singapore now leads the world in AI readiness, ranking first in Coursera's AI Maturity Index. But even as 97% of firms run AI programs, 83% still cite talent shortages. To discuss this, we are joined by Coursera's Patrick Supans and Melissa Young from Microsoft Singapore. Welcome, Melissa and Patrick. Let's start by talking about how this happened. What factors enabled Singapore to rank first in AI maturity?
One, just a long-standing commitment in terms of access to education, access to technology, create a very strong foundation. Then I think overall, the focus of the government on programs like Skills Future, I think is very important in terms of creating energy and incentives around continuous skilling and reskilling, especially around AI, and creating that access to a variety of providers to receive that kind of training and upskilling is essential.
Singapore has always had a strong culture of lifelong learning and a national commitment to upskilling. It's also been well buoyed by the robust National AI Strategy 2.0, which focuses on scaling AI talent, deploying AI for public good, and positioning Singapore as a global AI hub. We find that this is such a powerful formula, policy as well as partnerships for people development. In the past year alone, Microsoft has done our part by helping to upskill 100,000 people in Singapore through collaborations with Skills Future, IMDA, NTUC, Enterprise Singapore, and other great partners. LinkedIn data also shows that Singapore leads Southeast Asia in linking learning to career development, with companies investing heavily in employee growth. By placing skills at the heart of its economic strategy, Singapore has built up a talent pool that's ready to innovate and lead in AI.
But just as you've both mentioned earlier, there are high upskilling levels. Despite that, why do talent shortages persist?
I think the pace of change can still outstrip training cycles. And this is why it's really important to be thinking about broadening the number of workers and broadening the number of occupations that are engaging in AI training and upskilling. This is why we created Skill Tracks, a program at Coursera that's focused on building skills across AI and a number of other areas across a number of different occupational groups. Broadening that familiarity with AI is incredibly important. That raises the level for everybody, which is key to broadening the overall pool of folks who deeply understand AI.
Microsoft's recent Work Trend Index report found that in Singapore, over 70% of leaders are only hiring candidates with AI skills, and 80% of leaders are creating new AI-specific roles. That's higher than the global average. We also know that over 80% of leaders are planning to expand workforce capacity using AI agents within the year. So people will need to learn how to work alongside and be assisted by AI, as every employee will ultimately become an agent boss, managing teams of autonomous agents. And with these changes, businesses are now evolving into what we call frontier firms, powered by hybrid teams of humans as well as AI agents. Microsoft is scaling inclusive skilling initiatives across Singapore to ensure no one is left behind in this transformation.
Just to expound on this, how sustainable would you say is its reliance on continuous reskilling for AI readiness?
Well, I think the pace of change is so fast that technologies can become outdated in a matter of certainly years and in some cases months as new releases are coming out, especially in AI. So I know one thing at Coursera we're very focused on is how we make sure we're constantly refreshing our courses to stay aligned to the skills and applications of AI that are happening within the workforce. So it's important to think about this as a continuous upskilling effort, not just a one-time upskilling effort in order to stay on top of things and stay fresh.
Over a third of our workforce is actively upskilling online, supported by government and employers. That's not just a statistic, it's a signal. It's a signal that Singapore is building an AI-ready society where capability matters more than credentials. Success ultimately depends on valuing skills over credentials, fostering lifelong learning, and building strong partnerships. Microsoft's initiatives like the AI Pinnacle program for transforming industries with AI, as well as Code Without Barriers for women in tech, show how ongoing investments in skills can future-proof both organizations as well as individuals. However, sustainability requires that learning becomes embedded in company culture. with time allocated for employees to adapt. If this collective effort continues, I'm confident that Singapore will remain agile and future-ready.
Now let's talk about the risks. Are there specific risks that may arise when firms run AI programs without sufficient talent?
Well, I think there are a number of risks. One, wasted investment through misapplication of the technology. There could be issues of bias, as if you're not really closely watching the parameters of how you're implementing that AI. And also issues of just overall security and safety with AI, which is one of the reasons why we're incredibly excited. We just announced our partnership with Anthropic, which, as you know, and your listeners know, is one of the leading AI research and development organizations in the world. And we've partnered with them around creating courses that are very much focused on safety and security as you implement AI across your organization.
Here at Microsoft, we've said that companies that outlearn other companies will outperform them. Without skilled talent, AI programs risk operational inefficiency, poor implementation of responsible AI, and increased security vulnerabilities. There's also a danger of exclusion, where AI could become a divider rather than an equalizer. Firms may also miss out on innovation and growth if they can't fully harness AI's potential to transform their systems and engage with customers. So having the right talent and trusted tools is key. AI is most impactful for Singapore as well as the broader workforce when it's responsible, secure, accessible, and inclusive.
Thank you so much for your time today, Patrick and Melissa. Looking forward to having you both back on the program.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
Thank you.
Once again, those were Patrick Sipon's Chief Product Officer at Coursera and Melissa Yung, Director of Government Affairs at Microsoft Singapore. For more news, visit sbr.com.sg.